Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Vice President of Marketing himself, Kyle Knowles. Trying to be the AV guy too. I didn't even hear the music going when I first hit click. So welcome everyone to Maker Manager Money 2023. Thank you so much for being here. What I want to do first is, I want to thank the sponsors, especially the food sponsors, right? We've got Hungry Howie's, Nothing But Cakes, Ruby Snap, Crave Cookies, and it's all because of April Frampton right here. So one of the speakers. But a special thanks to Kiln, right? If this is the first time you've been at Kiln, please raise your hand. First time at Kiln. Make a note, Danny. Make a note of that. There's quite a few here. But what I want to do, I want to thank Kiln for providing the space, the drinks, and I want to turn some time over to Danny Peterson. Please give it up to Danny. He's going to say
All right, thank you. I don't know how I can follow an entrance like that. That was pretty iconic. My name is Danny from Kiln. Just for all the new faces here, first off, welcome. We're so happy to have you. Housekeeping items, if you go out these doors to the right, there's some restrooms there. And if there's any questions throughout the time that you're here, I'll be up at the front desk. But just wanted to give a little intro from Kiln. We are a co-working space, very lifestyle-oriented and community-focused. So we love to do lots of events, bring the community together. Loved partnering on this event, excited for it. So if you would like to know more, if you would like to just see our space, it goes pretty far beyond there as well. So after the event, come find me. I'll just be at the front. But that's all for me. Thank you.
I don't really know where to stand here. I'm used to sitting. So I'm going to come over here. Okay, I just want to talk about the journey of Maker Manager Money, because this is kind of what it looked like to me 4 or 5 months ago. I thought, first of all, I was the last white heterosexual male to not have a podcast, right? So I thought I'd better join in and start a podcast, but this is kind of what it looked like, right? There was just, the sky was the limit. I could take it anywhere I wanted to. And this is the result of basically, if this can click, 155 days. So 155 days ago, I recorded my first podcast with Ken Allred, who couldn't make it here tonight. I think he sent Janae. I don't think she could stay for the speaking, but he was the first guinea pig, and you see a lot of guinea pigs here willing to join a fledgling podcast. But I've just learned so many things. Let me just tell you, I worship entrepreneurs. They are the backbone of the economy. They are willing to go without a paycheck every 2 weeks, which I haven't been willing to do that. We've got a new entrepreneur right here, David, that's here tonight. He's going to start a consulting group to implement Oracle. So, I mean, hats off to all of you. I've learned so much just sitting across the table from each of you. And I'm so just happy to have this event and have you be here. One of the things that I wanted to say, first of all, and I didn't get to it because they're over there on my sticky notes, but I just wanted to say, generative AI will not replace live events, ever. Generative AI will not generate the kind of energy you get from meeting new people and sitting down and talking about different things together and joining together in live events. So I appreciate everyone being here, everyone's energy. I feel it, and I hope you guys, I want to ask a favor of you. if you meet one connection, or if you walk away with one idea that you're going to either implement or think about and it affected you, please let me know. These are the kinds of stories that I want to hear from having this event tonight. So quickly, I'll just go with this. I did have some goals. I mean, initially, I just wanted to kind of get into it, but then after doing a couple podcasts, I was like, okay, you gotta have some goals, right? You have to have some kind of thing that's in your head that's like, is this worth doing, right? Or am I headed in the right direction? So I just want to quickly go through the goals I had. I wanted to be creative, wanted to do more creative things, right? Sometimes when you're working for the man, you don't get a lot of opportunities, especially if you're in management. There's not a lot of opportunities to be creative. And so I wanted something, an outlet, nights and weekends, to be more creative. Expand my network. And again, both of these don't have metrics tied to them, but I think being creative, I could add some metrics to these pretty easy. Expand my network, I could add some metrics. But 3 of the guests that I've had on the podcast, I never knew before I started the podcast. Okay, one of them speaking tonight, Christian. So check 2 episodes per month. I kind of was going crazy at the start of it, trying to do 1 a week. It's very hard as a fellow podcaster. Sierra McCleve would attest, very hard to do 1 a week, especially when you're busy with a lot of other things. So, and thank you. You helped me achieve this goal tonight. To host. Last but not least, I want to achieve top 1%. Now this sounds insane, doesn't it? I don't look like Tim Ferriss. I don't know Tony Robbins. But to achieve top 1%, to give you a little clue in on that, there's 2 million, might be an old stat, there's probably more. There's 2 million podcasts on Apple. 25% have 1 episode. Think about that. And then 99% of them only go to 20 episodes. This is basically episode 17. I've got 2 scheduled up. For some reason, they're sitting next to each other. We've got Ian and Jordan scheduled up in September. They're happy to be sick. This was not rehearsed. This will take me to 19. So if you have any recommendations, if there's anyone that would benefit from the podcast, please let me know. I can make it to 21. I can be a happy man. I can die and go to heaven. Okay? So achieve top 1%. So I want to give you a peek behind the mirror. This is kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to be transparent here. This is me. You can do podcasts for cheaper, for sure. You can record on your phone, whatever you want to do. This is my podcast stack. Calendly, I know some of you use Calendly for work. It is a godsend. It is amazing. It's one of the most amazing pieces of software in this podcast stack, simply because it's very easy. You don't have to go, hey, are you free 1 to 3 on Wednesday? It's so nice to be able to schedule things. Buzzsprout distributes the podcast, right? And it's an embedded player as well on the website. I had to have a website just because of who I am. You don't have to have a website. Vimeo, SoundCloud, you can see the rest. Canva Pro, does anyone use Canva in here? Insanely good software, right? I think so many kids are growing up with Canva, just using it in schools. I mean, it's like, I don't know how much market share it's taken away from Adobe, but it's insanely good. Down at the bottom, I got a few AI things. Thanks to Sierra Opus Clip. You can basically upload an hour-long video. It'll cut it up into content clips for you in about 15 minutes. It's insane. It's not always perfect. Remember, AI can generate things. They can't add the nuance. They can't do certain things, right? We're the captain, guys. We're the captain. They're the co-pilot. Never forget. Okay, and then Zapier makes you happier. I've heard this before. I don't know who, does anyone use Zapier here? It's insanely good at automating. It can connect like 5,000 different apps, okay? So you can create all kinds of crazy workflows with it. You can even make your own chatbot now because it has a way to connect to ChatGPT. You can put some parameters around there and have your own, you can have a Kyle chatbot if you want to. So I'm just barely getting into that. And then I just want to show you, of course, you can go crazy. You can, have a recording device like a Rodecaster. You can get nice cameras. Sierra has a super nice camera back there. So you could start to go crazy. Rev is really good for transcripts if you need a human to kind of review it if you don't have time. But it's about $100 per episode. And then, of course, Adobe Creative Suite. You can use contractors. And then Danny's not here. I could tell you after how much it costs to have a virtual membership to Kim. I didn't want to reveal it from him because maybe they do different things for different people. But I just didn't want to record in my mom's basement or my wife's basement. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to record it. And then, so now, to my 5 key learnings interviewing entrepreneurs. First of all, this came from Binoy Tamang's mentor. He shared this on his podcast. Binoy was asking him a lot of questions, and the guy said, just start. So what I've learned from all of you entrepreneurs is that at some point you just have to start. You can't take another class, listen to another podcast, wait until your degree is finished. You just start. And I've seen that in every podcast guest I've had on the show. Key learning number 2, believe, right? Every one of these entrepreneurs believes in themselves. And I found that that is the key skill for an entrepreneur or anyone that's successful. There's belief in God. You can believe in all kinds of things. You can believe in political parties, whatever it is. But believing in yourself is fundamental to success. I've seen it time and time again interviewing these guests on the podcast. Key learning number 3, relationships. I have one. I have a life partner. Jennifer's here. Give it up for Jennifer. I am not even standing here without a life partner supporting this. There's no way I'm standing here on a Thursday night when there's a Fantagram concert or something else that needs to happen. My daughter's here as well supporting, but everyone I've talked to, whether it's a life partner, Ben is a perfect example. I want Holly on the podcast simply because of Ben's podcast. Ben talking about Holly's authenticity and being the authenticity police. Amazing. Like, I love you for that, seriously. Ben is such a great example of relationships and relationship building. But no one can be successful alone. Can't. I mean, no one's going to create a company that's successful without relationships. And it starts with your own personal relationships, because you bring that, as Binoy talks about in his book as well, you bring that right into it. And so it's not just customer relationships, it's your personal relationships, it's your employee relationships. Key learning number 4, learn by doing. Terry Allen was a perfect example of this. He was the founder of Alinco, mascots, did the Jazz Bear, did like 80% of the NBA mascots. He said that there's no amount of schooling. You can go to school, but it's the project that's right in front of you that is key and fundamental to learning. And I bet you everyone in this room learned by doing. Ben and Ian just started, 7 years ago, a business. They've never been entrepreneurs before. They have learned so much in 7 years. They don't have an MD and PhD. I mean, they have some kind of degree that's crazy, right, for business. So learn by doing. And lastly, key learning number 5, it's life-changing. I've seen Jason Steen talked about how life-changing. I mean, he rose from the ashes like a phoenix and started a company again. Now he's got 20 employees. He gets to work with his wife. I mean, it's an amazing story about how life-changing being in business for yourself is. So I'm very subjective or objective. I don't know what. I guess I'm objective, right? I'm not an entrepreneur. But I just want to thank each of you for being an entrepreneur. It's so inspiring to sit across the table from each of you. And I want to thank everyone that's been on the podcast. I've got 5 of 15 speakers speaking tonight, y'all. Come on, look it up. It's insane. This is insane. So let me go back to my chair.